What is going on? Good morning. Oh, I just dropped my daughter off at school. She's in first grade. And my wife dropped our oldest daughter, who is in 8th grade, off. And I'm headed to go grab a coffee and then go to the flip house. Me and my partner are flipping a house right now, so we are trying to finish that up and get it back on the market, or get it on the market today. We ain't got much left to do, more just we gotta put some measure and cut some doors, couple touch-ups, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I wanted to talk to you about how I started my clothing brand, and how I got it to its first million. Because a lot of people struggle with that, and honestly I did too, until I realized what I was doing. I realized how to do it. I'm sorry, I've been up since 3:30, so trying to get client stuff in order, so I can have, part of this day before I go pick up the girls from school. So I've been in the e-commerce business for a little over a decade, and I've learned a lot. I've spent a lot, and I've made a lot. The biggest thing, honestly, though, is when I started my company, I started with one hat. It was a flat bill hat, which I don't wear flat bills, but at that time, they were really popular. So I went with what I knew I could sell and what was popular, and I ordered like 25 of them. Little leather patches. It's in one of my other videos. It's a black hat with a leather rectangle patch. Honestly, it's a pretty dope hat, and we sold out the first day. Honestly, I told a lot of my friends. I texted a lot of my friends and people that I knew through on Facebook. Just say, hey guys, I'm starting this brand, would love the support, and we sold them, which was really cool. So I ended up buying more of those, and I bought another hat called the Circle Patch hat. I went in a little deeper on those. I bought 5 different colors, I think, and then I built my own website, and man, that website was absolutely garbage. It was atrocious. It was awful. But I never built a website before, so I built the first website, and I got my first sale within a week, and I kept going. Scott, I think, was his name. I can't remember his last name. I'm 98% sure my first sale online was Scott, and I know it was in Florida. And he became a good long-term customer because I made a good connection. But then I started boosting posts on Instagram, thinking that would work. Wasted a lot of money. Don't ever boost posts. Run ads. Don't boost posts. And I started getting some shirts. I started turning some hats. So on and so forth. Well, I ended up hiring another company, a fulfillment company, which I don't truly recommend unless you find the right partner, and I'll make another video on that. Long story short, I fired that company. They were stealing my hats and not shipping out my products. So I decided to take everything in-house and go vertically, and be vertically integrated, which honestly was the best thing. Invested in a DTG printer. I put it in the bedroom that I had, and we filled it up. We filled it up with blank apparel to learn, with all the hats and everything. And every single day I was walking outside to pre-treat a shirt, and walking back in to print the shirt, walking back outside to pre-treat a shirt. And my buddy, who's I'm flipping the house with here, he also did the same thing. He helped me with it as well. So yeah, once I kind of got the process of hey, this is what I need to do, as far as the getting the orders out, shipping the orders, that whole thing down, I started diving into marketing, and man, was it rough at first. I spent a lot of money, and I made a lot of expensive mistakes. Sorry about this glare. I got that morning sun here, and it's brutal sometimes, but I tested a lot of ads. Nothing was working. I hired a company, and they were were charging like $4,500. So I went into debt for that company. They did nothing. It was absolutely awful. So I fired that company, honestly, within about a month. They just, you can tell, you got that gut feeling. People just don't know what the hell they're talking about. That was me with them. And then once I fired them, I decided just to YouTube and learn and start investing the time. Because I was selling real estate at the time, and I was selling a lot of houses. So financially, things were, starting to come up for me. And then I got me an American Express card, which was a really bad and good thing. I'll do another video on that too. So once I learned how to do ads, I remember getting my first sale. I got my first sale within it was less than a day, and I thought it was awesome. So I doubled down on what that ad was doing, and it just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. Well, fast forward about 6 months, everything just dropped again, and we were going up, and we were only doing $10,000 a month at the time, so it wasn't a whole lot, but it was significant for me. But then everything kind of dropped. Well, I decided to do I learned what a loss leader was, and I decided to promote one. So what I was doing was I was giving a free shirt away with every order. I was printing my own shirts, so it didn't really cost me anything. And at the time, I wasn't charging for my time at all. So I was printing a shirt. It was a mystery shirt, so it was like different prints every day. So whatever day you ordered, that was the shirt that mystery print that you got. And all of a sudden, I went from I can't remember, it was low, it was under $10,000 at the time, all the way up to $80,000 in 1 month. And we just kept pushing on that and pushing and pushing and pushing, making a ton of money. So, it was like our second year, we did over $500,000. Then I made the wonderful mistake of, obviously me learning and how to teach myself everything. I cut my ads off. All the winning ads, I cut them off. Not a good idea. I should have not done that. But it was hell for the next 6 months trying to get the sales back up to where they were. And we were sending out, 3 Sprinter vans every 2 days would come, and we would fill the vans up with our orders every 2 days, and we were just knocking them out. It was awesome. But once I learned the marketing, and once I learned how to get that, I was able to, obviously repeat that method again. And sometimes I used a loss leader, and sometimes I didn't, but I was able to repeat it. And within our third year, we were over $1 million. So it's, obviously there's a lot more detail to it, but this is kind of just more of the rundown. I haven't made I'm kind of jumping back on YouTube. I'm going to be really raw with it. So more like car chronicles, and obviously with the sun, it's blinding. But yeah, so honestly, comment below what kind of questions that you do have about starting your brand. It doesn't have to be an apparel brand. Honestly, any business. I own a septic business. We flip houses. I'm in real estate, and but e-com and digital marketing is what I love to do. It's my jam. I'm not comfortable on a camera. Those time I am comfortable is when I'm driving, which is super, super safe. But this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a lot of car chronicles, because this is where I feel most comfortable at, and this is how I'm gonna do it. So again, sorry for the sun, shade, whatever. But yeah, put some questions in the comments. Let me know what kind of problems you're having with your brand, or honestly, if you want me to go into more detail in another video, let me know, and I'll make another detailed video. This is just more of a, hey, let's break the ice, get back into making videos, and let you know what's going on. But honestly, running ads, at the end of the day, I ran ads. I learned a lot about ads, and optimizing ads, and building websites and things like that. And that was the first company. We did over $1 million in the third year. And then my second company, the Coastline Print Co., we went heavy on that. That started growing really fast, and then I got an investor. Well, I didn't get an investor. An investor approached me which was a little bit of a regret for sure. I'll go into that too, like when you should or shouldn't get investors, or if you should, because it's not always the right thing. That was a very expensive lesson for me to learn. But within the second year of that, we were on track to do. We did over $1 million our second year in sales. So super excited to help other people get to those mile markers. If you're one of those people, let me know. I'd love to help you. I'm not a fancy guru. You're not going to see me drive a lot of Lamborghinis to try to get your attention. I'm a father. I love my family. I love to play golf. I love to fish, and I love my freedom. This is why I help people try to get to the same thing that I'm at, but a lot faster, because I've made the mistakes. I've spent the money, but I've also made it. So yeah, if you need some help or just have any questions, comment below.